would you like to have your hot take roasted on this show? Well, two things. One, technically only the take will get roasted if you intentionally say you don't want your username read out. If you don't, I'll read your username out. But what you do is there's a Last Free Nation Discord. If you subscribe there, among the many perks, you can also ask questions for like League of Legends and other shows. So we have a section, CS Hot Takes, where you can submit your own hot take, which might appear on the show, like this take. So Kovora says, Mauisnake must be fired from Hot Take Point Made and replaced with Techgirl. His takes have not had an appropriate heat, often slightly below room temperature and at best warm. Thorin, at least, I like to wait a minute. That's why I'm reading it and I don't even get full credit. Thorin at least make takes that are contrarian to pleb fans and are therefore hot because they go against popular narratives. Because, listen, just the start of this next sentence already makes me love this take, Maui. Kasad is Serbian, and makes completely unreasonable statements all the time. That's the sentence what Kasad wrote. Meanwhile, Maui's latest take on the last show was that he didn't like when the producers showed spray transfers in slow motion. Who cares? And then listen, the last paragraph goes, Techgirl is clearly the solution. On broadcasts, she insults her analysts all the time and would be able to deride her fellow hosts effectively for saying stupid trash. She is also clearly deranged enough for this podcast, considering she has mentioned on her own show multiple times that she is still a fan of Fallen. That's it. That's the take. Like, Kasad, I feel like you have to start this one. What do you think of the take? Maui should be fired and replaced by Techgirl. Thoughts?
I agree.
I love it. I
do agree. I do agree also with the last point that Techgirl is so deranged, like,
she could be on the show.
Just because she's a fan of Fallen still in 2025. So that's a funny one. Okay. But like, I don't understand my part. Like, why is just being a Serbian qualifies you to be deranged as well? Is that some sort of a racial thing? I mean, I don't mind it. Like, we Serbians are definitely not your usual kind of people. Like, we have our own ways, and it's kind of strange for other people when they look at us and see what the things that we do and the things that we say, which we do think it's normal, and in a normal world they would be normal, but we don't live in a normal world. We live in a world where Kovara, or whatever his name is, we're living there, right? Where like everything needs to be fucking hidden and needs to be like, you know,
repressed.
I don't even know how to. Yes, I don't even know how to fucking say it. But
we live in a society, basically. We live in a society. Okay.
Yeah, a fake society without no real fucking things happening, where people actually avoid real things and just like to fucking pretend that things are not happening around them. That's the world that probably this guy or girl or whatever the fuck he is living at. But he made some good points about Maui, though. Okay. So I guess it balances out a little bit. But overall, he's deranged enough to be a part of this show and be roasted. I can agree with that one.
Okay. I mean, first of all, I'm pretty sure that 90% of my takes, the first time somebody hears the take, they knee-jerk and they just go like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's literally what I get Kasad on every single time.
Which you could say is the hallmark of a good take, surely, you know.
But then the reason that he doesn't think they're hot is simply because I just have the level of speech precision and reminder. I have a bachelor's. I'm a reminder. Yes. I have to go. Hey, I'm fighting this guy, Kasad. I'm not fighting you right now. Okay. Reminder. I have a bachelor's in philosophy from a fucking Ivy League, so I can explain my points with the clarity that ends up convincing you by the end of it. Okay, to the point where it's almost impossible to refute, and then by the end of it, even though in that first 20 seconds you were like, what the fuck, how can that be true? By the end of the 2-minute rant, you're like, oh yeah, that actually makes sense. Okay, so you, Kavara, or Techgirl for that matter, would not make the take that I make, but it's not only because you don't have the balls, it's because you can't explain things nearly as clearly as I do.
In case of Techgirl, literally.
Hopefully.
Yes, literally. Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Go on.
Shouts out to Techgirl, love her. She's great. She's great.
No, that's it.
I'm not going against Techgirl. I'm not going against Techgirl.
By the way,
no,
I actually disagree with this take, and here's why. Because the whole point...
Thank you, Thorin, for disagreeing.
Everything Cassad said is basically what annoys him about Maui, but why he's actually an excellent host for this show. Like, if people haven't noticed, that dynamic is what the show's about. Like, here's the one area that this guy's wrong. Look, if Maui, God forbid, doesn't happen, died tomorrow in a plane crash or something, then Techgirl is one of the people who could potentially do the show. There's also other people too. The difference is, though, like, one of the things Maui has that Techgirl doesn't yet is you have to also basically be able to not just disagree, but almost tell the other person to fuck off. So that's not really in her wheelhouse yet. She's still, by the way, she's doing a good job just easing into the community. She hasn't really had any big blow-ups or that. But the problem is, on this show, sometimes we are just like screaming like an old married couple about how the other person's a piece of shit or whatever, and they're making like random allusions to their country and stuff. Like, I don't know that she's going to come in and wade in and do that. I feel like the problem is, the first time she ever said a hot take, Cassad would go fucking mental, and then she would just be like, oh, I'm retreating back into my shell and never giving a fucking hot take again. That wasn't nice. I didn't enjoy that. Like, so I feel like you've got to be able to take a certain level of flame, to be on this show.
Yeah,
and for now,
you need to ease into it. You need to need to spend years of like community hate towards you, and Reddit posts and HLTV and Twitter messages, Instagram messages, and everything to kind of build up to the point where Maui can say, fuck you and your hot take, and this is shit, and without feeling, Put
it this way, here's the giveaway that you're not ready for this show. If you go on hltv.org and you see a thread that says, insert your name, come here, and you go, oh my God, a thread, then you're not ready, because that's something unusual to you. That's like a day ending with a Y for me in Maui during an event. If it's like Mauisnake, come here, like, that could be any, you narrow it down, that could be 1,000 threads. We get that every opinion. I've already said before, the joke is, like, one of our most loyal viewers is whoever the fuck does those news posts for play.gg. Like, they fucking love our shit, bro. That's like half their job is just writing down what we say on podcasts. But the difference is, you notice they do write it down as though like we were doing an interview with their publication. It's always like that, isn't it? Like Mauisnake quotes. It's like, it's just a quote from this show. But by the way, as long as you keep embedding it, I don't mind it. I'll keep retweeting. Don't worry about it. Keep embedding that motherfucker. And we can keep the symbiotic human centipede shit going on, can't we? Look, listen, I don't have any problem because I've been part of human centipede. As long as I'm on the front, I'm not the one taking the shit in the mouth. They can consume my podcast and spit it out the back. That's all okay. It's all okay.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.